Well, good morning, guys. It is Meredith Alexander, and I just wanted to share with you two takeaways from an event that I hosted yesterday. It was a webinar on 3 secrets to the bolder you, and it was awesome. This was just for some high-level powerhouse, or if they're not already, soon to be, I'm amazing, freaking tuned in, tapped in, incredible, about to step into my own full of confidence powerhouse women. So there were two major takeaways from me that I just felt were so important that I wanted to share with you today. First of all, it was my first foray into a slightly unfamiliar zone for me, or should I say, totally unfamiliar zone for me, i.e. doing a quote unquote free webinar. So yes, I know there are tons of people who do them, but I've always kind of shied away from them just because the technology was a little daunting for me. And to the whole process of getting, when people come, it was the typical kind of things that we worry about and that we fear. In other words, it was that little perfection dragon getting in my way, right? So I decided, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and dive in and do it. So was it perfect? Absolutely not. I mean, the Eventbrite link didn't work for some people. If people tried to come in through my normal Zoom link, it asked for a password that usually wasn't there. It's right from the very beginning, there were some challenges to try and get people in. And then of course, as I'm trying to screen share, there were a few little glitches along the way, but what was the saving grace? It was ultimately to fall back on a little bit of humor and realize that we can still achieve our mission. We can still be there when the focus is on, like for me, when the focus was on these amazing women and how I knew that many of them were coming because they were struggling with things like self-confidence or imposter syndrome or just overall disappointment in themselves. And so therefore a lack of self-trust and being overly harsh on themselves, you name it. There were a lot of things that really come down to fear. And, you know, we're talking fear of failure, but we're also talking in some cases, fear of success. We're talking fear of being bored, fear of making the wrong choice. There are a myriad of things that we use our imagination to worry about, right? That probably will never, ever come true. Or if they do in much smaller version, that we can easily overcome, because look at how many things we have already overcome. So what was the big thing for me? It was actually to lighten up, to remind myself to have fun. This is my moment. This is the first and only time that it will be my first webinar per se, and just have fun with it. So we were squeaking the rubber chickens and we were messing around and we were playing with a PowerPoint, but we were still able to go deep and get to some really, really important aha moments for every single one who is on that webinar. Plus, I did record it. So the people who actually were frustrated and couldn't get on it, I'm going to be able to share with them. And I promise you, I am determined I will make it up to them, and I'll make it up to you if you're one of the ones who's watching this. But the other piece that was so evident and so big is that when we are feeling less than, when we are feeling in the grips of fear or disappointment or just beating ourselves up, the tendency is to isolate ourselves and feel alone, feel like we don't belong. There is no more important time for us to surround ourselves with, I call it the power of 5, right? You may have heard the saying that we've become the average of the 5 people that we surround ourselves with. Well, in my humble opinion, we have such a bigger, more connected world. We become the average of the 5 influences that we most surround ourselves with. And so in this day and age, we have the opportunity to choose what those influences look like. So that could be to surround ourselves with inspiring podcasts, to surround ourselves with a group of, in this case, powerhouse women, But in an even bigger sense, they're powerhouse men and women and a whole cultures and community that can help you step into that most powerful, epic version of yourself. So what I wanted to share with you today is the lesson that when you're feeling stress, when you're feeling unfamiliar, remember the moment, the humor, remember the lightness, remember to focus on serving, not self-critiquing, right? And then the second piece, just the incredible importance of going out there and cultivating what I call your tramily, your tribe plus family, and getting those people that make it easier for you to feel like you are showing up as the highest and best version of yourself. And by the way, one thing we did do is we are launching a group for women right now, for women to create that group, just because I've discovered with all the coaching that I've done that men and women learn slightly differently. So I want to, in this particular group, lean on the women, the way women tend to learn. And of course, I'm making a huge generalization. So this is just like an average of what I have been discovering. But I want to give a safe environment for women to go in there and to really start regaining that sense of power, that sense of self-trust, that sense of clarity and mission, and of course of fun and of friendly support in those days, maybe when you're waking up not quite feeling like that epic version of you, or when you're just feeling a little nervous. I want you to have a community of other women who see you for that epic version of you and can actually bolster you up. And then ultimately, at some points, we will even be getting together in person. So all kinds of fun things to look forward to. So I'm actually going to drop the link of the group, the Facebook group below here. If you are a woman or know a woman who you think could handle this really rocking epic group, come join us. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. So go out there, rock your day, make it epic. I'm Meredith Alexander. I will see you next time. All right. Ta-ta for now. Bye.